Hello everyone. Today we will start lesson 3, The Selfish Giant from English Supplementary. Now, The Selfish Giant. It is written by Oscar Wilde. Giant means an extremely large, strong person. So first, introduction to the chapter. Oscar Wilde wrote a very simple and interesting story of divine intervention in nature, coexistence, and spreading love is the message of the story. The young boy was a messenger of God. He made the cruel giant repentant. Repentant means feeling sorry for something bad you have done. And what bad was done by him? The giant was not allowing the children to enter into his garden. He built a wall around his garden. And when he broke the wall, happiness and beauty surrounded him in terms of children and spring season. Now, in this chapter, the details and personification of hail and snow is very well presented. Personification, you all know, it is a figure of speech in which non-living objects take the qualities of a human being. So let's begin reading an explanation. Every afternoon, as they were coming from school, the children used to go and play in the giant's garden. It was a large, lovely garden with soft green grass. Here and there, over the grass stood beautiful flowers like stars. And there were 12 peach trees that in the springtime broke out into delicate blossoms of pink and pearl, and in the autumn bore rich fruit. The birds sat on the trees and sang so sweetly that the children used to stop their games in order to listen to them. "How happy we are here," they cried to each other. Now children, peach means a juicy fruit. Adu, we say adu in Hindi. Broke out means spread out. Delicate means soft. Now the opening lines suggest that the children were fond of playing in the giant's garden. It was a lovely garden with soft grass and beautiful flowers. It had 12 peach trees that flourish with pink and pearl flowers in spring season and turn into rich fruits in the autumn. The children listened to the songs of various birds and thus lived happily. One day, the giant came back. He had been to visit his friend, the Cornish ogre, and had stayed with him for 7 years. When he arrived, he saw the children playing in the garden. "What are you doing here?" he cried in a very gruff voice. Gruff means rough. And the children ran away. "My own garden is my own garden," said the giant. "Anyone can understand that, and I will allow nobody to play in it but myself." So he built a high wall all round it and put up a notice board, "Trespassers will be prosecuted." Now children, what does the word trespassers means? It means a person entering someone's land or property without permission. And prosecuted means legal action. Now the children's enjoyment had ended with the arrival of the giant. who was away for last 7 years to a friend's house. The giant got angry when he saw children playing in his garden. He started shouting and built a high wall around it. He put up a notice board mentioning trespassers will be prosecuted. Now, trespassers, as I told you just now, and prosecuted also, legal action means that anyone who will enter into his garden without his permission, he would take legal action against that person. He was a very selfish giant. The poor children had now nowhere to play. They tried to play on the road, but the road was very dusty and full of hard stones, and they did not like it. They used to wander round the high walls when their lessons were over and talk about the beautiful garden inside. How happy we were there, they said to each other. Now, the decision took by the giant took a toll on children, as they did not have a place to play. Because if they play on the road, there was a lot of dust and stones. They were very sad and depressed. Then the spring came, and all over the country there were little blossoms and little birds. Only in the garden of the selfish giant, there it was still winter. The birds did not care to sing in it, as there were no children, and the trees forgot to blossom. Now, children, as the time passed by, spring season came, and flowers blossomed everywhere, and little birds were chirping all around. But it did not arrive in Giant's garden. There were barren winters only. Once a beautiful flower put its head out from the grass, but when it saw the notice board, it was so sorry for the children that it slipped back into the ground again and went off to sleep. The only people who were pleased were the snow and the frost. Spring has forgotten this garden, they cried. So we will live here all the year round. The snow covered up the grass with her great white cloak, and the frost painted all the trees silver. Now, see, children, trees and flowers were not blossoming. There was still winter in Giant's garden. No birds were chirping. However, the snow and the frost were happy. The snow covered up the grass with her white cloak, and the frost covered trees. Then they invited the north wind to stay with them, and he came. He was wrapped in furs, and he rode all day about the garden and blew the chimney pots down. This is a delightful spot, he said. We must ask Hail on a visit. Hail means, children, Ole. So the Hail came. Every day for 3 hours he rattled on the roof of the castle till he broke most of the slates. Castle here means the giant's home. And then he ran round and round the garden as fast as he could go. He was dressed in grey, and his breath was like ice. Now, children, here the snow and the frost, they invited North Wind also to stay by them. They all planned to invite Hail, as it was winter. So they planned to invite Hail also. The Hail came, Ole, the Hail came, and he fell on the roof of the castle, the giant's home, the giant's house, and broke most of its spades. He was dressed in grey, means the Hail, as you have all seen, it dressed in grey. I cannot understand why the spring is so late in coming, said the selfish giant, as he sat at the window and looked out at his cold white garden. I hope there will be a change in the weather. But the spring never came, nor the summer. The autumn gave golden fruit to every garden, but to the giant's garden she gave none. He is too selfish, she said. So it was always winter there, and the north wind and the hail and the frost and the snow danced about through the trees. Now, see, children, the giant was waiting for the spring to come, but the spring did not come as there were no children in the garden, and therefore, all the place in the garden was taken up by the hail, north wind, frost, and the snow. They were enjoying in the garden, but the spring did not come. Also, children, as I told you earlier also, these all snow, north wind, hail and the frost, these are all non-living objects, but they all are personified here. They have taken up the qualities of a human being, danced and enjoying and this all. So it has very beautifully presented here in the chapter. One morning the giant was lying awake in bed when he heard some lovely music. It sounded so sweet to his ears that he thought it must be the king's musicians passing by. It was really only a little linnet singing outside his window. Linnet means bird. But it was so long since he had heard a bird singing in his garden that it seemed to him to be the most beautiful music in the world. Now, see, children, the giant was waiting eagerly and was hopeful. One morning he heard the melodious song of a bird. Initially, the giant thought that it must be the king's musicians passing by. Then the hail stopped dancing over his head, and the north wind ceased roaring, and a delicious perfume came to him through the open casement. I believe the spring has come at last, said the giant, and he jumped out of bed and looked out. Then the giant was rejoiced as he was sure that the spring has arrived. He saw a most wonderful sight. Through a little hole in the wall, the children had crept in. Crept means entered, and they were sitting in the branches of the trees. In every tree that he could see, there was a little child, and the trees were so glad to have the children back again that they had covered themselves with blossoms and were waving their arms gently above the children's heads. The birds were flying above and twittering with delight. Twittering, children, here means chirping. And the flowers were looking up through the green grass and laughing. It was a lovely scene. Only in one corner it was still winter. It was the farthest corner of the garden, and in it was standing a little boy. Now, see, children, the giant looked out and found that children were back in his garden. Every tree was blossoming as a child was sitting on its branch. The birds were flying, they were chirping, flowers were laughing, except for a place where a small child could not climb the tree. There was still winter in that part of the garden. He was so small that he could not reach up to the branches of the tree, and he was wandering all round it, crying bitterly. The poor tree was still covered with frost and snow, and the north wind was blowing and roaring above it. "Climb up, little boy," said the tree, and it bent its branches down as low as it could, but the boy was too tiny. Now, children, the poor tree wanted the child to sit on its branch, therefore it bent down also, but as frost, snow and north wind were blowing on that, and the boy was too tiny that he could not sit on the branch of that tree, and he was crying bitterly. And the giant's heart melted as he looked out. "How selfish I have been," he said. "Now I know why the spring would not come here. I will put that poor little boy on the top of the tree, and I will knock down the wall, and my garden shall be the children's playground forever and ever. He was really very sorry for what he had done. So he crept downstairs and opened the front door quite softly and went out into the garden. But when the children saw him, they were so frightened that they all ran away, and the garden became winter again. Only the little boy did not run, for his eyes were so full of tears that he did not see the giant coming. Now, see, children, when the giant realized his mistake, he went downstairs and opened the front door. But the children were frightened to see him. The small boy could not run away as he was so small, he could not run away, and his eyes were full of tears as he could not see the giant coming. And the giant stole up behind him and took him gently in his hands and put him up into the tree. And the tree broke at once into blossom, and the birds came and sang on it. And the little boy stretched out his 2 arms and flung them round the giant's neck and kissed him. Now, see, children, as the small boy could not run away, and he could not see the giant also coming as his eyes were full of tears. So the giant came from behind, and he lifted the boy and put him onto a branch of the tree, and the tree blossomed at once. And the other children, when they saw the giant was not wicked any longer, came running back, and with them came the spring. "It is your garden now, little children," said the giant, and he took a great axe and knocked down the wall. And when the people were going to market at 12 o'clock, they found the giant playing with the children in the most beautiful garden they have ever seen. Now, children, the giant's behavior was changed and he allowed the other children also to come and play in his garden. And with the children came the spring also. And the happy giant took an axe and knocked down the wall. The people were surprised to see the children playing with the giant. All day long they played, and in the evening they came to the giant to bid him goodbye. "But where is your little companion?" he said. "The boy I put into the tree." The giant loved him the best because he had kissed him. "We don't know," answered the children. "He has gone away." Now, as the giant had allowed the children to come and play in his garden, they played the whole day, and in the evening they came to him to say him goodbye. But the giant asked them about that little boy whom he had put into the tree. But the children replied that they don't know, as might be he had gone away. "You must tell him to be sure and come tomorrow," said the giant. But the children said that they did not know where he lived, and he had never seen him before, and the giant felt very sad. Every afternoon when school was over, the children came and played with the giant, but the little boy, whom the giant loved, was never seen again. The giant was very kind to all the children, yet he longed for his little friend and often spoke of him. "How I would like to see him," he used to say. Now, see, children, the giant invited every child to visit his ground, with a special mention to the youngest child. But nobody knew him. The giant was kind to every child, but he only remembered that little one only. Years went by, and the giant grew very old and feeble. He could not play about any more. So he sat in a huge armchair and watched the children at their games and admired his garden. "I have many beautiful flowers," he said, "but the children are the most beautiful flowers of all." Now, children, years went by. The giant grew old. He watched the children playing while sitting in an armchair. He said that the children are the most beautiful flowers of all. One winter morning, he looked out of his window as he was dressing. He did not hate the winter now, for he knew that it was merely the spring asleep and that the flowers were resting. Suddenly, he rubbed his eyes in wonder and looked and looked. It certainly was a marvelous sight. In the farthest corner of the garden was a tree quite covered with lovely white blossoms. Its branches were golden and silver fruit hung down from them, and underneath it stood the little boy he had loved. Now, the giant no longer hated the winters. So, one winter morning, he was surprised to see the lovely white blossoms. Its branches were golden, bearing silver fruit, and there was a little boy sitting underneath the tree. Downstairs ran the giant in great joy and out into the garden. He hastened across the grass and came near to the child. And when he came quite close, his face grew red with anger, and he said, "Who had dared to wound thee?" For on the palms of the child's hands were the prints of 2 nails, and the prints of 2 nails were on the little feet. Now, children, the giant was very happy and rushed towards him. When he saw the boy, he was very happy and he rushed towards him. But when he went close to him, he saw his hands and he grew very angry. Why? Because he saw the nails, print of nails on his palms also and on his little feet also. "Who hath dared to wound thee?" cried the giant. "Tell me, that I may take my big sword and slay him." "Nay," answered the child, "but these are the wounds of love." "Who art thou?" said the giant, and a strange awe fell on him, and he knelt before the little child. Now, children, here, "who hath dared to wound thee" means who had dared to give you injury. Wound means injured. And here, "who art thou" means that who are you. Now, after seeing the hands of the boy, the giant grew very angry. He wanted to punish the wrong one who had given him such injuries, but the child replied that those were wounds of love. The giant was shocked to hear such an answer. And the child smiled on the giant and said to him, "You let me play once in your garden. Today you shall come with me to my garden, which is paradise." And when the children ran in that afternoon, they found the giant lying dead under the tree, all covered with white blossoms. Now, children, when the giant asked the boy about him, that who he was, so he replied very gently that once he allowed him to play him in his garden. Now he would take him along. And when children came to play in the afternoon, they found the giant lying dead, covered with white blossoms. Now, children, who do you think the child was? If we see the marks of nails on the little child's hands and feet, that remind us of the incident of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was hanged to death, and the nails were fixed on his palms and feet against a wall. So it is here the giant met Christ in the guise of a child. Now, what should be the reason? The reason might be that Jesus wanted to teach him the lesson of kindness towards the children. And the giant became kind to them at the end and was blessed also in the end. So here we have come to the end of the chapter. I hope that you all have understood it. Thank you.